How's it going, you sexy beasts? Nanite Systems has been pumping out a ton of weapons recently, and their latest iteration is the NS-15M, their take on the light machine gun weapon class for the heavy assault. This weapon is a heavier version of the NS-11C, using the same damage values as well as some similar recoil patterns. The advantage this weapon has over others is both its firing sound and its ease of use. If you're playing as a Vonu soldier, then using any type of Nanite Systems weapon will cause your opponents to be rather suspicious of who's firing or just ignore you outright. So let's go ahead and review the NS-15M light machine gun. The NS-15M light machine gun is yet another interesting weapon to be added to Planetside 2. The main reason that I've fallen in love with it is its adaptability. I much prefer having a weapon good in nearly every role as opposed to a weapon specialized for one particular aspect. At medium ranges, the NS-15M is at home, but will also hold strong presence amidst the battlefield and longer ranges as well as close ranges. Damage values are closely related to the Terran Republic's light machine guns, save for the TMG-50. Coupled with a 55-round magazine-fed ammunition system, as opposed to a box magazine, you're given one very adaptive light machine gun. Since the NS-11C was rather lackluster in regards to bullet velocity, the NS-15M surely delivers, as well as having the opportunity to being loaded up with high-velocity ammunition. Honestly, I would consider this weapon to be more of an assault rifle than an LMG. If you've used either the NS-11 assault rifle or the NS-11 carbine, then you'll be right at home with the fire rate that the NS-15M supports, as well as the overall handling and aesthetics. Let's dissect the NS-15M and grab some numbers for you guys. This LMG fires at a rate of 625 rounds per minute, which is just 27 RPM shy of the previous iteration of weapons released by Nanite Systems. Each bullet deals a maximum of 143 damage up to 10 meters, which is a 7 bullet kill. The minimum damage dealt is 125 damage at 65 meters, which is an 8 bullet kill. With this very low damage drop off, you'll be consistently dropping targets regardless of range. With the 625 round per minute fire rate, as well as 143 maximum bullet damage, the NS-15M time to kill clocks in at 0.672 seconds, with a realistic time to kill of 2.24 seconds, both within the 10 meter range. Magazine capacity is 55 rounds, with another 220 rounds in the reserve, or another 4 additional magazines. If you were to land every bullet from your magazine, you'd be able to drop a total of 7 enemies and another 31 enemies with the remaining ammunition in your reserve. That's one hell of a killing spree. Short reload speed without having fully emptied your magazine is 2.15 seconds, which is unheard of from an LMG. Long reload speed from a dry magazine is still a rather quick 2.5 seconds. So even if you do completely empty your weapon, you're not out of a fight for far too long. Vertical recoil will pull upward at a rate of 0.3 degrees, which is rather low and controllable for LMGs. Horizontal recoil has a leftward bias, so when you're firing, the muzzle will tend to drift upward and to the left, making firing compensating arguably easy. First shot recoil multipliers 2 times, standing lower to middle ground of the LMGs. Rounds fired from the NS-15M move at a rate of 640 meters per second, giving this weapon an extremely fast bullet velocity compared to other weapons of its class. And last to be mentioned is the aiming down sight movement speed. Other light machine guns will cut your movement speed in half while you're aiming down the sights, but the NS-15M will only slow you by about 25% when you've got the eyes to your side of the gun. It may be small, but still something to take into consideration when looking over this weapon. As stated previously, the NS-15M is at home at a medium range combat scenario and will easily get outshined by other weapons at longer or shorter ranges. The great thing about this though is the adaptability that the NS-15 offers. Even though other weapons will be a better choice in close quarters, this LMG will still offer a solid fighting platform without being completely crippled. I can't say the same for other LMGs with a higher fire rate, as they quickly lose their strength when fighting shifts to more open areas. So with regards to attachments, I'm sure you're expecting the usual complement to a medium range weapon. Default iron sights are the standard Nanite Systems irons, with a hexagon acting as the foresights of the weapon, and an open half hexagon as the rear sights. As this weapon is built to be a medium-range powerhouse, let's go ahead and swap these irons for the fancy Terran Republic branded DMO 3.4x sight, giving the perfect ability to engage targets at our preferred distance. For our rail attachment, there's not much else we can choose here. There's no point getting a laser sight, as this weapon isn't the best with hipfire anyway, so the only other choice would be the trusty forward grip. With this, our horizontal recoil will be reduced even further, making that leftward pull less of a nuisance. Barrel attachments could be my standard go-to favorite of the Compensator or the Suppressor. Since the NS-15M has rather high velocity rounds, the Suppressor won't be too much of a hindrance on the bullet speed while keeping us off the minimap. As for the Compensator, this attachment is just good all around, since it will reduce our vertical recoil by about 10%. As long as you're aiming down the sights with the Compensator attachment equipped, then you're not going to notice any detriments. Finally, for our choice of ammunition, the soft point ammunition is probably the best of the two, with high velocity rounds still being a great choice. Soft point ammunition will extend the maximum amount of damage your rounds can carry by another 5 meters. Despite that sounding rather pathetic, imagine both you and your target having the NS-15 equipped and standing about 12 meters apart from each other. Your opponent will have to hit you 8 times, and you'll only have to hit him 7. Ever gotten your hands on any of the other Nanite Systems weapon platforms before? Then the NS-15M is for you. Ever tried the GD-22S and loved how the heavy assault class got a light machine gun based on an assault rifle? Maybe you're just tired of firing lasers as the Vanu and wanted to shoot some bullets instead. The NS-15M brings reload speed, a magazine size, and ADS movement speed from the assault rifles into the light machine gun weapons available to all 3 factions. If you're curious about the best way to handle this weapon, that has got to be butting up bursts against one another. The cone of fire for this gun spreads out rather quickly. After 5 consecutive shots, you're going to be far less accurate than before. In order to counteract this, burst fire 5 shots, let off the trigger, and immediately hammer on again. Stopping consecutive fire will reset your crosshair's cone of fire bloom, returning your accuracy back to original. Take into consideration the 2x multiplier on the immediate following shot though. With the Compensator equipped, this will be able to be achieved much easier than the stock NS-15M. Firing in such a way is hard to remember in the heat of combat, so make sure to practice burst firing this way in the virtual reality area before trying to master it in combat, or you'll see yourself dying quite frequently due to shots missing your target. As I'm sure we've all come to expect, the Nanite Systems weapon platforms feature the Tier 4 price point, 1,000 certification points or 700 station cash. After making your purchase, let's play dress up with this LMG. Grabbing your sights, which would either be the 2x reflex or my personal 3.4x scope, will cost you the first 30 certs toward completing the attachment puzzle. For the rail attachment, the only viable option would be the forward grip for 100 certs. Barrel attachment is either the Compensator or the Suppressor, but I would strongly urge the use of the Compensator. Either one will cost you 100 more certification points. Finally, for our choice of ammunition, we've got either the soft point ammunition or the high velocity ammunition. Solely for personal preference, I've picked up the high velocity ammunition, but soft point will work extremely well with this weapon too. Your choice of ammunition will be another 100 certification points. Grand total of the NS-15M, fully loaded with attachments to boot, is 1,430 certification points, or 700 station cash, and 430 certs. Hopefully we can see a weapon cost less than 1,000 certification points in the future, but I probably doubt it. So there you have it, you sexy beasts, the Nanite Systems NS-15M light machine gun variant. With a strong medium-range fighting potential, as well as being a contender for close quarters combat, this LMG offers a well-rounded fighting potential without being extremely strong in one particular aspect. I apologize for the lack of content recently, guys, as I've been getting my butt whooped by my job. But fret not. There's plenty more planned content coming, such as my thoughts and opinions on the Empire-specific rocket launchers, upcoming game update number 7, which should be full of awesomeness, and both generations of shotguns. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a big old thumbs up. If you didn't, thumbs it down, and let me know what I can improve on. Have you tried the NS-15M yet? Let me know your opinion on it in the comments below, or just tell me how your day has been. Hopefully it's been awesome. Want to see more videos like this? Go ahead and subscribe. It's free.